Good morning. I have two jumpers on me because I don't know how much my heat is going to cost, and I'm like, oh, can't switch it on for too long. So here's the thing, guys, that I have realized. I have spent much of my life running from discomfort, running from pain, running from. I think it started probably years ago, and it's probably long and complex. And I know I saw a psychologist for many, many years. Shout out to Kate, she's amazing. On and off, but she was the psychologist I saw, and she said it's a very complex. It's not really one thing you can pinpoint. But I spent my life trying to control situations, trying to control discomfort. So initially, I'm only looking back now. So I was living with a guy, very nice guy, really lovely. Then we broke up very suddenly, and I was living with him in his house, so I had to move out. So shortly after that, I would say I ran to London thinking I would, have this fairy tale in London where I'd meet a guy and, always meet a guy, settle down, come back, and my life would be perfect. Always trying to get somewhere, always trying to get to that happily ever after. Then I moved back from London. Well, when I was in London, I tried to make a comedian. I didn't really try because I guess I'm learning with myself. It's probably since I've been in France, I guess I'm a nurse, so I've never really struggled to get work. I've never really struggled financially. My parents have helped me out. I will freely admit that when I struggle financially. And even my aunts will tell you my dad is extremely, probably too generous sometimes. And I actually had to put a stop to it in London because I got behind on my rent at one stage. And I rang my dad and I was chatting to him about it. And he said, well, I can send you the money. And I was like, no, Dad, I need to stand on my own 2 feet. And I think this was the start of life trying to guide me in that way. Because when I lived in Australia. And I think when I was leaving Australia, life was guiding me to follow my own path. Very often I followed other people's paths. And it's not that I don't want to, it's not that there's anything wrong with those paths, but that maybe they were just never for me. So like the path to buying a house, having a family, maybe it's just not for me. I don't know, but I've never explored anything else because that has always been my driving focus. So as I said, when I broke up, I ran to London thinking I'd find it there. And when I didn't, and when things started to get difficult, I was going out with a guy from Wales. I came home to my family, money, to the comfort of that. So then that broke up. And then for a few years, I was really content. But I was in my comfort zone. And I guess the thing I'm learning about comfort zones is they're lovely. They're really nice, and there is nothing wrong with staying in a comfort zone. I know a lot of people in a comfort zone and are very content. I guess life has always been guiding me otherwise. And at the moment, so then I made the choice to move to France. And it just happened that my job was making me redundant. I was working in pharma as a nurse and they were making me redundant. And I love the girls there. It's still one of my favorite places I've ever worked. My managers were lovely. They treated us really well. At the end, people were like, oh, the redundancy. But look, that happens when you're working in private sectors. They lost a contract, so they had to do layoffs. It's easy for me to say I didn't have a mortgage. I don't have children. So I don't have that extra pressure of not knowing where. So I moved to France and I haven't worked, obviously. One thing I will say, it's out of my comfort zone because I am running out of money and I don't know my rent. It is really out of my comfort zone. And part of me feels like running back home. But I think this time, my thing is, I guess I'm out of my comfort zone. And I remember this, I don't know if this is in the last video, maybe it was, but pain is progress. And it's really hard and it's really uncomfortable because I honestly don't know. But I do sense it's life getting me to stay present. At the moment, I have enough. At this moment in time where I am here now, I have plenty. I'm eating a lovely breakfast, I have a lovely coffee, I'm meeting a lovely neighbour later on for a walk. There's a place across the road looking for someone and they're asking to drop in a CV into the letterbox. and sometimes I struggle with putting myself out there. So I'm very blessed, and I think it's to be grateful for where you're at, and I'm really grateful for the struggle. But what I'm most grateful for is the strength that life is giving me to stay for the struggle. I don't know where it's going to end. I'm living on the fucking streets. But look, we'll deal with it. You know, I don't know, but I think the point is, if you want to get out of your comfort zone, you have to be prepared to be very uncomfortable for a good period of time. I don't think I've been prepared before, but my whole intention has been to create in myself a strong root. The only way you create strong roots is to suffer and struggle, and I don't really know how to explain it. I'm about the masculine and feminine energy thanks to my Italian-Irish yoga friend. She's actually going for Irish citizenship, so I wish her the best of luck, because she is just the most beautiful soul. And if you saw her WhatsApp profile picture, it is just her in a nutshell. She is so grounded and spiritual, and she really is just been just a godsend to me on this journey. So I give her a big shout out. But I'm more growing that masculine side, embracing that masculine side of drive, focus, determination, growing, and then embracing the softer, the sensitive feminine side. They go hand in hand. She'd often say to me, they're not separate. They dance together. They're intertwined. But I guess for me at the moment, they're separate because I need to cultivate one and embrace the other. But it's to grow that, for me, it's to grow, the intention is to grow that strong root. Because a strong root is not that you don't have hardship, but it's like a tree, I guess, in a storm. If it is a strong root, it'll survive. If it doesn't, that root will pull from the ground. So yeah, that's where I am at the moment. But I just, anyone who watches this, I wish, genuinely, I still have coffee here. Genuinely, I wish you so much love. And, you know, sometimes the world seems like there's not too much love in it, but actually people are so kind, you know, and everyone has a kindness in them. We just don't always see it very well. I mean, look, it's hard. I mean, and maybe it's coming from, I do realize I have been very privileged, and I'm really, you know, I'm not acknowledging that, but just, I feel like sometimes we forget that the little things are how we show love, you know. I can't always give people money on the streets, but I can say hello to them and acknowledge the fact that they're there. Because, you know, I don't know where I'm going with this. I just wish everyone so much love, light and joy. It's how me and my Italian-Irish, well, soon to be Italian-Irish Yoda, always sign off our messages. We always wish each other some love, light and joy, and that's what I wish for everyone today.